I'm Mark Newberg, Director of Impact Strategies for the Stella Group Limited. He's Scott Sklar, President of the Stella Group Limited. And today we're going to have Scott's show and tell of specific solar technologies. So Scott, you've got a bunch of things here with you today. What do you have and what do they do?
Well, as you know, there are all different kinds of solar. And so I'm just highlighting two of them. I'm not dealing with solar daylight technologies, which really sort of look like enhanced skylights or little bubbles on the roof, or concentrated solar power utility scale systems. So the two types I'm dealing with is solar water heating. And again, I use the analogy that if you close the windows of your car on a hot day, you know how hot it can get in an enclosed situation. So a solar water heating panel, now this is a little demo, so I don't have to bring a 4 by 8 foot one here and you wouldn't be able to see me carry it, is an enclosed insulated box, and they have a glass or plastic cover on it. It traps the heat inside the box. At the bottom of this box is a black piece of metal. And of course, black absorbs the heat side of the sunlight, thermal, and there are tiny little tubes filled with glycol. And a little solar electric pump slowly pumps it across the panel, and the glycol gets very hot. And it goes down a pipe into your water tank, and there's a coil of tubes in your water tank that become very hot and heat your water. And as it cools off, comes on the other side of the panel and starts its journey again. Now, we have 1 million buildings with solar water heating in the United States. They have more than 1 million buildings with solar water heating in the city of Tokyo alone. So, as I told you, this is cost effective. There are some other kinds of solar water heaters, evacuated tubes, as I mentioned, for higher, more increased use of hot water, like for laundromats, and cafeterias and restaurants, and of course hospitals, and then there are batch heaters that actually sit on the ground and that can do it apart from the building, or even thermosiphon systems in the south where the water tank isn't in your basement or your utility closet, but on your roof right next to the panel. But most of them are flat plate solar collectors like this, which is the type I have on my home.
So the question I imagine most folks are going to ask is, all right, fine, there are a bunch of different systems. My threshold question is, am I going to run out of hot water?
You are not. If you have a system installed by an experienced installer, they will match it to a solar tank, which is a super insulated tank, and you never run out of hot water. And I want to mention that solar thermal systems are rated by a state government industry nonprofit called the Solar Rating and Certification Corporation, www.srcc.org. And you can look at the different systems and their performance. And that's one of the best resources to make sure that what you're being offered by your local NABCEP trained vendor is using a system that has been tested for performance, and they test the system, not just the components.
All right, so that's solar water heating.
Well, we are not done. Most people know traditional solar photovoltaic panels. There are really 3 types, monocrystal, polycrystal, and thin film. Basically there have been cost declines in all 3. I want to say there are many U.S. manufacturers. This idea that it's all gone to China is sort of silly. There are many U.S. manufacturers, and again, they operate just like your calculator. When light hits this panel, it generates DC electricity. And then it needs a box, another piece of equipment called an inverter, to change it to AC current so you can use it in your home or send it back to the utility grid. And then if you have a battery bank, there's one more box called a charge controller that makes sure that you don't overcharge your batteries and your batteries are optimally charged. And a good installer, a NABCEP certified installer, will make sure that these are matched appropriately. But you don't just need panels now. We have lots of companies that have other kinds of integrated solar. So this is a solar roofing shingle that goes in place of your shingles.
So this thing that you're holding right now is actually a solar panel.
It is a solar panel. It's flexible. It generates electricity. They have rigid ones that look like, still look like shingles. Some that look like tile roofs. There are 7 different companies that have some kind of either roofing shingle product or a peel and stick panels that go on metal seam roofs between the ridges. And I have them on my buildings as well, both my home and my office building, and they work great.
So I guess if I were gonna put one of these on my roof of my house or my office, my question would be, how durable are they?
All these photovoltaic panels, again, assuming you buy certified panels, which you would if you use a NAPSEP installer, are 20-year warranty. In most cases, they should last longer. I put my photovoltaic panels on my home in 1984, so now we're 26 years later and they've only lost 3% of their output and working just great. So there is absolutely no reason they shouldn't last not only longer than you, but longer than the next person who owns your home, or if you hand it to your kids, your kids.
And I guess the big question is your roof still watertight?
Well, yes. Again, if you have a NAPSEP certified installer, you will make sure you won't have leaks in your roof. I had to actually, my roof passed its warranty, so I had to remove all my solar, put on a new roof and put it back. And so they outlasted my roof, in fact. So yes, these panels are long lasting. I told you they're already on satellites in space that take much more abuse than anywhere here on Earth. The last I brought is just innovations. These are commercialized. We have a few companies that make solar on different materials. This is on a heavy-duty plastic. It actually goes inside the windows or inside awnings for bus stops, and it produces electricity. It can be done in different colors. It's very expensive, but where you want aesthetic reasons, it's sort of fun. This particular kind of solar also works off of incidental light. So you don't even have to face it towards the window and you see numbers being produced, electricity off the top. That's your meter.
So this thing's producing electricity right now.
Right this second.
In a conference room.
In a conference room with the blinds drawn and working off of, in this case, fluorescent and some reflected incandescent light too. But yes, so in fact, again, when we turn away from the light, see it's still producing electricity. So there's a lot of innovations coming down the line that's going to make it easier to use, more aesthetic, and more functional. But you have to buy now rather than waiting around for the miraculous best technology. And so there's hundreds of different innovations commercial in the marketplace, and it's really yours for the asking if you think about what's most cost-effective, reliable for you.
All right, well, thanks, Scott, for walking us through some of the technologies that are available. There are a whole bunch more out on the market, and we'll come back and talk about those in another video. I'm Mark Newberg. He's Scott Sklar for ICMA, the Stella Group Limited, and the SunShot Solar Outreach Partnership. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.